If you have love handles, do these 5 exercises and eliminate your love handles. More than 70% of people accumulate fat precisely in the flanks, that side area of the belly that insists on not disappearing, even when weight does drop. This doesn't just affect the mirror, but also self-esteem, how clothes fit, and even confidence in daily life. That's why today you'll see 5 truly killer exercises to directly attack that lateral fat. Simple exercises, done at home, without equipment, and that take just a few minutes per day. Stay attentive until the end, because besides the exercises, you'll also see 6 little discussed secrets that, if applied, will help you never accumulate belly fat again, even with a busy routine. Before we begin, please tell us through the comments your name and the city you're watching our content from. We'd love to know. Exercise number 5, mountain climbers. The mountain climber is one of the most complete exercises for fat burning and abdominal definition simultaneously, burning between 600 and 800 calories per hour. It combines intense cardiovascular work with engagement of multiple muscle groups, especially the core, quadriceps, shoulders, and glutes. What makes this exercise particularly valuable for eliminating flank fat is its ability to increase metabolism for up to 14 hours after training through the EPOC effect, making your body continue burning calories even when you're resting on the couch. The correct technique begins in high plank position, with hands positioned directly under the shoulders and the body forming a straight line from head to feet. From this base, you bring one knee toward the chest, while the other remains extended, alternating legs in a fluid and controlled movement. The key here is keeping the hips aligned with the body, without elevating them during the movement. When you elevate the hips, you automatically reduce abdominal work and transfer effort to other regions, drastically decreasing the exercise's efficiency for burning that lateral fat. Another frequent error is arching the lower back region, which can cause discomfort and even spinal injuries. Many people also prioritize speed instead of technique, moving legs quickly but without adequate amplitude, which compromises muscle recruitment in the abdominal region. For beginners, I recommend starting with 3 sets of 30 seconds, resting 30 seconds between each set. Number 4, stationary high knees. Stationary high knees is basically running in place, but bringing the knees to hip height or higher. This movement burns about 700 to 900 calories per hour when executed at high intensity, making it an exceptional tool for creating the caloric deficit necessary to eliminate those lateral love handles. It's pure cardiovascular exercise that also intensely strengthens the core, hip flexors, and calves. What many people don't know is that hip flexors have direct connection with deep abdominal musculature, and by strengthening them through this exercise, you're creating a more solid base for stabilization of the body's central region. Correct execution involves keeping the torso upright throughout the movement, without leaning forward or backward. When raising each knee, you should make a conscious effort to contract the abdomen, especially pressing the navel toward the spine. Arms should accompany the movement alternately, as in running, creating a crossed pattern that activates the obliques even more. A common error is doing the movement in a lazy way, raising knees only to half the ideal height. When you don't reach at least hip height, you lose much of the cardiovascular work and abdominal activation. Number 3, burpees. The burpee is considered a metabolic storm in a single movement. A session of just 20 minutes of burpees burns between 250 and 300 calories, which equals almost 30 minutes of moderate running. This exercise combines squat, push-up, and explosive jump, engaging practically all major muscle groups of the body in a dynamic and challenging sequence. And do you know why this is crucial for eliminating flank fat? Because the more muscles you recruit simultaneously, the greater the total caloric expenditure will be, and the more intense the hormonal fat-burning response will be. Complete burpee execution involves 7 distinct phases. You start standing, squat, placing hands on the floor in front of the feet, kick feet back, assuming plank position, descend doing a complete arm push-up, return to plank position, jump with feet back to hands, returning to squat, and finally, jump explosively upward, with arms extended above the head. For beginners, I recommend starting with 3 sets of 5 to 8 repetitions, eliminating the push-up initially. As you develop strength and endurance, add the push-up and gradually increase repetitions to 10, 12, and even 15%. The most frequent errors include not maintaining correct spinal alignment during plank position, allowing hips to drop or back to arch excessively, which can overload the lower back region. This exercise is contraindicated for people with uncontrolled heart problems, uncontrolled hypertension, or existing injuries in shoulders, wrists, knees, or spine. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress healthily long-term in the world of bodybuilding. Number 2, jumping jacks. Jumping jacks are a classic exercise that burns approximately 100 calories every 10 minutes of continuous execution. Although it seems simple and even childish, when executed at high speed and for prolonged periods, it rapidly elevates heart rate, creating significant cardiovascular demand. The movement simultaneously works shoulders, legs, and core, with special emphasis on torso-stabilizing muscles that need to maintain posture while limbs move. For those seeking to eliminate flank fat, this exercise's value lies in its ability to maintain an elevated heart rate sustainably, contributing to the necessary caloric deficit. Correct execution begins with feet together and arms alongside the body. In an explosive movement, you jump opening legs laterally, while simultaneously raising arms above the head until hands touch or almost touch. On return, you jump again, bringing feet back to initial position and arms back to the body. A common error is performing the movement too slowly or without coordination between upper and lower limbs. Jumping jacks lose efficiency when there's no synchrony between legs and arms. Another error is landing with rigid knees, which can cause excessive impact on joints. Because it has low injury risk and allows simple modifications, it's accessible for most people. If you have knee problems, you can do the modified version, where instead of jumping, you just open and close legs alternately without lifting feet from the ground. Number 1, jump rope. Jump rope is a frequently underestimated exercise that equals 30 minutes of running in just 10 minutes of practice. Very few people know this equivalence and continue ignoring this powerful movement. The exercise burns approximately 10 calories per minute, reaching impressive 1,000 calories per hour when executed at high intensity. The beauty of jump rope lies in how it works the whole body synchronously. Arms and shoulders control rope rotation, the core stays stable to maintain balance, and legs perform repetitive jumps, creating enormous metabolic demand. This combination creates an ideal hormonal environment for fat burning, including that stubborn flank fat. Correct technique involves keeping feet together during jumps, using wrist movement to spin the rope and not entire arms, and performing low jumps of only 1 to 2 centimeters from the ground. Many people jump too high, which increases impact on joints and reduces execution speed. The ideal rope length is determined by stepping on its middle and verifying if the ends reach your armpit height. A too short rope forces you to jump higher, while a too long one keeps hitting the ground and interrupting rhythm. Main errors include looking down while jumping, which misaligns posture and overloads the neck, and landing with the entire sole of the foot instead of using the front part, which increases impact. This exercise is contraindicated for people with serious joint problems in knees, ankles, or hips. If you have any of these conditions, seek surfaces with more cushioning like rubber or grass, which significantly reduce impact on joints. The 5 exercises you just saw are powerful weapons for burning calories and creating the ideal metabolic environment to eliminate fat. But you also need to ensure the other part of the equation so the process can happen completely. Number 1, maintain a moderate caloric deficit. There's no fat loss without caloric deficit. The first law of thermodynamics cannot be circumvented. You can spend 2 hours doing the exercises we just showed you, but if you consume more calories than you burn, your body will store the excess as fat. However, the key is knowing that not all caloric deficits are equal. A common error is adopting a very aggressive deficit expecting faster results, like eating only 1,000 calories per day. When you drastically reduce caloric intake, your body enters alert state, interpreting this as food scarcity and activating survival mechanisms. Metabolism slows down, thyroid hormone production decreases, hunger increases, and more. Worryingly, the body begins breaking down muscle proteins to use as energy. You might not even notice, but this lack of energy will make your body even talk and gesture less. The result is weight loss, yes, but a significant percentage comes from muscle mass. exactly what we don't want to lose. A moderate caloric deficit allows your body to adapt gradually, preserving muscle mass and focusing on fat burning. Studies show that a deficit of approximately 20% of your maintenance needs offers the best balance between efficient fat loss and muscle preservation. Number 2, also do strength training. Cardio isn't the only way to lose fat. As discussed in the topic about moderate caloric deficit, what really matters isn't just losing weight, but losing fat while maintaining or even increasing muscle mass. The explanation is simple. Muscle is metabolically active tissue, meaning that even when you're in complete rest, your muscles are consuming energy. For each kilogram of muscle mass, your body spends approximately 13 calories per day just to maintain it. Additionally, strength training generates what we call EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. In simple terms, your body continues spending calories at accelerated pace for up to 24 to 48 hours after an intense weight training session. This means you can burn more calories watching television after strength training than you would have burned without training. Muscle also improves insulin sensitivity, facilitating the use of carbohydrates as energy instead of storing them as fat. In practice, include at least 3 to 4 strength training sessions per week, focusing on compound exercises that work large muscle groups like squats, deadlifts, bench press, pull-ups, and rows. Don't be afraid of weights. Number 3, prioritize protein intake. Proteins have the highest thermic effect of foods, meaning your body spends more calories to digest and process proteins than carbohydrates or fats. We're talking about approximately 20 to 30% of ingested calories being used just to process the protein itself, compared to 5 to 10% for carbohydrates and 0 to 3% for fats. Second, protein is fundamental for preserving muscle mass during the weight loss process. When you're in caloric deficit, your body seeks energy from wherever it can, including your muscles. Consuming adequate amounts of protein sends a signal to the body to preserve muscle tissue and focus on fat burning. Third, protein provides greater satiety. A study showed that increasing protein intake to 30% of daily calories reduced hunger and caloric consumption by about 441 calories per day. Additionally, protein is essential for building and repairing muscles, and as we've seen, having more muscle mass increases your total caloric expenditure throughout the day, even at rest. In practice, try to include a quality protein source at each meal. Number 4, be careful with sugary drinks. One of the most common and harmful errors observed in people struggling to lose abdominal fat is underestimating calories from beverages. It's as if there's a blind spot in our caloric radar when it comes to liquids. Think about it. You'd probably think twice before eating 4 teaspoons of sugar at once, right? However, a single can of soda contains approximately that amount, and many people consume these beverages without hesitation. The problem with liquid calories goes beyond their high caloric density. Studies show that our brain doesn't register liquid calories the same way it registers solid calories. When you drink industrialized orange juice with 200 calories, your brain doesn't reduce your appetite in subsequent meals as it would if you ate a whole orange. Sugary drinks are particularly problematic for abdominal fat due to their effect on insulin. The high, rapidly absorbable sugar content causes significant insulin spikes, and chronically elevated insulin favors fat storage in the abdominal region. Number 5, include fiber in the diet. There are 2 main types of fiber, soluble and insoluble. Soluble fibers absorb water and form a gel that slows digestion, promoting prolonged feeling of satiety. Insoluble fibers add bulk to stool and help with intestinal health. One of fiber's main benefits for those wanting to lose abdominal fat is its effect on satiety. Fiber-rich foods require more chewing, which gives your brain more time to register satiety. Additionally, soluble fibers form a gel in the stomach that reduces the speed at which nutrients are absorbed, keeping you satisfied longer and avoiding hunger spikes. Studies also show that fiber-rich diets are associated with lower inflammation levels in the body. Chronic low-grade inflammation is linked to insulin resistance and visceral fat accumulation, precisely that dangerous fat that accumulates around internal organs. Dietary fibers also function as prebiotics, feeding beneficial intestinal bacteria. A healthy intestinal microbiome is associated with better weight control and less tendency to accumulate abdominal fat. In practice, seek to consume at least 25 to 30 grams of fiber daily. Good sources include fruits with skin, leafy and cruciferous vegetables, legumes like beans and lentils, and whole grains like oats and quinoa. Number 6. Control stress and sleep well. When we talk about strategies to eliminate abdominal fat, we generally focus on what's visible and measurable: diet and exercise. However, two of the most powerful factors in this equation are practically invisible: stress control and sleep quality. Chronic stress keeps cortisol levels high, the main stress hormone. Cortisol elevated for long periods has direct relation to abdominal fat accumulation, particularly visceral fat. This happens because cortisol signals the body to store central fat as evolutionary response to danger. In primitive times, this mechanism was protective, but today, with our modern chronic stress, this same mechanism works against our goals. Additionally, stress frequently leads us to counterproductive behaviors: emotional eating, skipping workouts, and less general discipline. Simultaneously, inadequate sleep is a silent saboteur of your efforts. A single night of poor sleep can increase ghrelin levels, the hunger hormone, and reduce leptin levels, the satiety hormone, creating a perfect storm for dietary excesses the next day. Studies show that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night have greater abdominal circumference compared to those who sleep 7 to 8 hours. Inadequate sleep also impairs muscle recovery and reduces motivation for exercises. If you liked it and want to also discover all the reasons why most men never manage to have defined abs, we've left a video appearing right now on the screen showing each one of them better. Don't fail to check it out. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.